Hi, I'm James Wilkinson and welcome to Wayfarer. Coming up on this week's show, we're taking you to Hong Kong, Brisbane, Paris and much more. Before we do that, let's find out how Marriott International is growing in Australia like never before. Craig, thanks so much for your time. We're here in Melbourne at AHICE, one of the biggest conferences in the world for hotels, and it's a really exciting time in Australia. You're growing like nothing else.
I'm growing, but you're growing, so congratulations. This conference gets bigger every year. Yeah, it is. This is a hot time for Australia. We're growing as a company. We're growing all of our brands, and we're bringing new brands to Australia, so it's fun.
And luxury brands, mid-scale brands, like service brands, it's the whole breadth, especially in Melbourne. You're going everything from service apartments to St Regis.
We're bringing in a lot of luxury across Asia Pacific and especially in Australia. And there's more room for luxury. We see a lot more travelers demanding luxury. And luxury used to be something that was just for the very, very 1%, but today people are saving up money to be able to go on a luxurious vacation, so it's growing quickly.
And if you look at that growth, what's exciting you the most at the moment? Obviously the luxury market's always been great for you guys as a company, so is that still one of your favourite segments at the moment?
It's one of my favourite segments, but I still think that there's so much growth potential still in the select service segment. I think that will continue to grow, and you can get it in more cities. And so we're starting to get out of the gateway cities and grow farther into Australia and get better leads. Yeah. And it's exciting. Australia is a great outbound market. Yeah, and growing resorts, city hotels, so regional hotels, fringe hotels on cities as well, so you're covering all bases. It's everything. Now, lifestyle, boutique, independent, hot segment right now here in Australia. The growth is incredible. Are you seeing a lot of demand over Asia Pacific for that segment? We are, and you know, you'll even see some of the core brands morphing a little bit that direction. So you see Sheraton and Marriott rooms have been changing, becoming more lifestyle-ish. Same with the lobbies, much more lifestyle in the way that we're designing them today. It's just the way the travelers are. My generation, we went to our room, ordered room service, and worked out of our room. The generation today wants to sit in the lobby, they want experience, and they want things to be different, right? I mean, in the old days, they wanted a hotel to look the same. London, Melbourne, Australia, you could have been in Shanghai, and they wanted things to look exactly the same. And today, everybody wants something different, something trendy, and a little bit of, and food's also very important. Obviously, when you look at that, obviously the club sandwich is still one of the most important things in the hotel, isn't it? Comfort food. Comfort food. We have the same thing with Chinese. The Chinese travel overseas. We put congee in our menus. We have Chinese food because they want to try American food or they want to try Australian food, but at the end of the day, they want comfort food, and we're the same. So when I go to China, I have a couple of days of Chinese food, and then I actually order a club sandwich. That's what I had for lunch, by the way. So if you look at that when you do travel, obviously people are being a lot more loyal now, aren't they, in terms of where they're staying and what they're having in hotels? Yeah, they are. They want to experiment. They want to try things that are different, but they're loyal to brands. And probably for us, the biggest piece of the loyalty is the loyalty program. So we relaunched, you know, Marriott Rewards, SPG, and Marriott Rewards all into one program called Marriott Bonvoy, and 130 million members across the world. And so people want to earn not just points to stay in hotels, but for experiences. And so you had here in Melbourne the F1, and we were able to take members to meet the Lewis Hamilton and Bottas, and we've had people in Shanghai do the hot lap around the track with them. There's exciting things. So people used to only spend money or to redeem for hotel nights, and today they want to do it for chances to do really cool things they've waited their whole life for. It's fun how the loyalty programs around the world from every major group are actually getting better and better and better. I think it's to the benefit of all the travelers. Yeah, it is. Well, we have to compete, right? And that's the good news and the bad news of competition, but it forces us to work on what the customers really want.
When it comes to flying, one of our favourite boutique airlines in the sky is Fiji Airways. Let's find out now what you can expect on board to Nandi and beyond. When it comes to flying to the South Pacific, no airline does it with as much fun, flair and hospitality like Fiji Airways. The flag carrier for Fiji flies to 21 destinations in 13 countries and territories, including Sydney, Hong Kong, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Tokyo and several more. Recently, Fiji Airways became the first One World Connect member in the alliance and now offers code-share agreements and priority check-in and boarding for Sapphire members and above in the global alliance. Fiji Airways is based in Nandi and operates a fleet of modern Airbus A330 and Boeing 737 aircraft, with the next generation Airbus A350 set to join the fleet later this year. When you get to Nandi, You can connect onwards to key cities like Los Angeles and San Francisco, or hop off and experience the best of the Fiji Islands, which includes some of the best resorts in the world, like the Fijian Islands, where you will find exceptional hospitality in every corner you look. It's a memorable experience on Fiji Airways from the moment you step aboard. On the Boeing 737 and Airbus A330 aircraft, which operate to Australia and beyond, you'll find two cabins, business and economy. On the A330 in business class, you can expect lie-flat seats, three-course meals designed by leading Fijian chefs, alongside fine wines, spirits, liqueurs, and a selection of great cheeses. There are also large-screen televisions loaded up with the latest in-flight entertainment. Business class passengers also enjoy perks such as increased baggage allowance, express airport lanes, and access to lounge facilities at selected airports, including in Nandi, where a new flagship facility was recently completed. Here you'll find chef-inspired menus, baristas, a luxury spa, a nanny service, and dedicated family area, along with a quiet zone and a media room, which doubles as a private meeting space. It's one of the only lounges in the Australasian region to have a designated children's room called Leilani Land, which comes complete with a fully qualified Fijian nanny, an offering that Fiji resorts are so famous for. One of our favourite things about flying Fiji Airways is that alongside the exceptional service on board, you can have a stopover in Fiji on the way to the United States. The connections are convenient, and the afternoon arrival into Los Angeles means you'll be on local time zone in no time. Fiji Airways is our favourite airline in the South Pacific, and the experience is up there with the best airlines in the world. To book, visit FijiAirways.com. Coming up on Wayfarer, we're taking you to Hong Kong. Welcome back to Wayfarer. The St Regis Hong Kong, where I am right now, is one of the hottest new luxury hotels in the world. Let's go inside. Well, thank you so much for your time. We're here at the beautiful new St Regis in Hong Kong that is a perfect hotel for business and leisure travellers with an incredible interior design.
Yeah, thank you. You know, Andre Fu is our interior designer. He was the one who designed the Upper House and the Fullerton Bay Hotel in Singapore. He's a very young, dynamic, up-and-coming designer. And so when he took a look at this project, he thought about old St Regis, New York, and wanted to pay homage there because there are areas within that hotel that are very similar to this hotel. So when you walk through the hotel, you'll see an interesting east meets west component. So he wanted to pay homage to New York, but really create this approachable, contemporary look within this hotel. And as you enter into the porte cochere, you sort of leave the hustle and bustle of Hong Kong behind, and you come into this area that is 7.5 meter high ceiling heights. And then when the door opens, you're sort of invited into this sort of curated mansion.
And if you look at that, it's one of the most talked about new hotels, not just in Hong Kong, but in Asia. And I think there's a lot of excitement about this property because of a design standpoint. But the quality of food and beverage that you've put into the hotel too is exceptional.
Yeah, we have two restaurants, a French restaurant and a Chinese restaurant. Both we hope will become Michelin starred after the first year of operation. And it's not because I would like it, it's because of the chefs that we've hired. So in the French, Olivier Elzer is our chef there, and he has 18 Michelin stars to his name. So the hope is that we garner 2 stars with him. But the Chinese restaurant as well, Chef Hung, has 4 stars to his name. So our hope is that he also gets a Michelin star. And I think both restaurants, I mean, the look and feel of those restaurants are very different, but very approachable. So when you look at the French restaurant, Andre Fu's inspiration was Coco Chanel. So there's this very feminine feel within that restaurant with an open kitchen. And then when you go down to the Chinese, the first thing that you see is sort of like this tea pavilion within the restaurant itself. So 2 very interesting designs.
And soon, and right now actually happening, is one of the most photographed bars in Hong Kong, sitting here at the St Regis bar, isn't it?
Well, you know, bars for us are very iconic, and it goes back to the King Cole Bar in New York. And our hope is that our bar becomes as iconic as that one is. But again, when we looked at the concept, we wanted there to be this East meets West sort of dynamic. And so, you know, there's a lot of elements from the old King Cole Bar and this one as well.
Obviously great cocktails at the bar. One of the most important things here in Hong Kong is food and beverage is so good, especially in hotels, but some of the great best all-time cocktails are in your bar as well.
Oh, exactly. Our mixologist, Andrea, he's actually from Italy. So we found what we think is the best mixologist, and I think if you've ever had a Negroni, his is probably the best in the world.
That's very important from a customer standpoint, I think, and when you look at the style of it, I mean, the style of what you've done in the lobby as well with these huge high ceilings, and it's very welcoming wanting to go into the bar and have a drink.
Yeah, I mean, it's for a 129 room hotel, you don't think that this whole hotel would be as grand. But again, as it starts, when you come into the porte cochere on the 7.5 meter ceiling, you get up to the lobby level, and again, there's 7.5 meter ceilings, and this just grand look as you look down towards the drawing room and off to the St Regis bar.
And if you look at the size of the hotel, 129 rooms, I mean, you're in a beautiful tall skyscraper here in Hong Kong. The views are fantastic, and it really is the size of a boutique hotel.
It really is, and that allows us to do things very differently. So when we look at the butler service, in most hotels, you check in through the front desk. You go up to your room, the bellman brings you your luggage, and a few minutes later you get a knock on the door and a butler introduces him or herself. In this hotel, we're going to do things a little differently because your butler is going to actually meet you curbside. So as you get out of your car, out of your limousine, or out of the taxi, the butler will be there, greet you, and then take you through the journey of the hotel, pointing out the various outlets, the details of the hotel, and then take you up to your room and 100% check you in room. And during that time, they'll get to know you. They'll get to know whether you want full butler service, whether you want the packing, the unpacking, the coffee, the tea service, whether you just want partial butler service, maybe you need to get into one of the hottest restaurants in the city, or you just want to be left alone. And if you want to be left alone, we're going to do that. But if you want butler service, you're dialing an extension that just doesn't have a few butlers. You're dialing an extension that has the entire front of house at your service.
And that's very special in St Regis hotels, very well known around the world for the quality of the butler service. So it's good that if people want the full butler service or just part of it, you're kind of offering that to them the second they walk in.
Yeah, you know, and I think the word butler is a little intimidating. So we're trying to take away that intimidation. And so our thought is when you're conversing with the guest in that journey through the hotel, you make them feel at ease. And so it's less intimidating, and people would therefore more want to use the butler service.
You're the new kid on the block, so to speak, in Hong Kong. There's some pretty spectacular hotels in this city from a 5-star and luxury standpoint. What are some of your X factors here in the hotel?
Well, I think it's service. I mean, we're small enough that we can really curate experiences for our guests. You know, we have 320 employees for 129 rooms, so that's more than 2 per room. So we can do things in this hotel that I don't think other hotels really can. You know, there are other great hotels that are opening up as well. I think, you know, when you look at our hotel, it truly is a hotel that exudes understated luxury.
It's pretty fitting for number 7,000 in the Marriott Global Network to have a hotel that is such an incredible focus on great service, and it kind of embodies the spirit of the company.
Well, we were very proud when we were picked as the 7,000th hotel in our company. And so, you know, we want to try and do everything to live up to that honor.
When it comes to getting to Hong Kong, one of the best ways is on Cathay Pacific on board their A350 in business class. Let's find out what it's all about. Cathay Pacific's business class has been one of our favourite cabins in the sky since it was launched over 6 years ago. But the latest version, which was launched on the Airbus A350-900 a couple of years ago, and just last month on the A350-1000, has taken the experience to a whole new level. What you'll immediately notice when you board the A350 is the spacious cabin, thanks to the extra-wide fuselage of the next-generation aircraft. The interior features more space and comfort, including panoramic windows, LED mood lighting, and huge overhead lockers. The A350 offers greater cabin humidity, which will make you feel less jet-lagged after the flight. And thanks to the spacious, comfortable seats in business class, you'll feel well rested as well. When it comes to the seats, they're an upgrade of the impressive Zodiac Cirrus seats found on Cathay's Airbus A330 and Boeing 777 aircraft. You'll find the seats in a 1-to-1 configuration with all aisle access. And the first thing you'll notice is the amount of space available, from the side storage, which can fit a handbag, laptop or magazines, to the side cabinet for headphones, valuables and iPads. There's an oversized tray that's ideal for working or dining, and once a meal turns up, you'll find room to place your computer or iPad onto the side and still have access to the full tray table. The A350 variation of the seat has some extra storage compartments, and when the seat is fully reclined, you'll find a 190-centimetre long, fully flat bed. When it comes to sleeping, you can expect fluffy pillows and a soft fabric duvet, along with amenity kits stocked with Jurleague products. On the entertainment front, you'll find an 18.5-inch HD entertainment screen, which features hundreds of movies, television programs, music tracks, and live satellite TV on the Studio CX entertainment system. Cathay Pacific's Airbus A350s are also kitted out with Wi-Fi, and when we tested it recently, both the upload and download speed was excellent, and it's also great value too, with most flights ranging between $9.95 and $19.95 per sector. When it comes to food and beverage, Cathay Pacific certainly impresses, with a number of Asian and Western meal options available, including an excellent breakfast service on overnight flights. On the drinks front, expect top wines from Australia, New Zealand, Europe and the Americas, alongside top-shelf spirits, coffee, tea, juice and soft drinks. The service on board from the cabin crew is exceptional on every flight, and coupled with the seats, entertainment and food, it adds up to one of the best business class cabin offerings in the sky. Now, while the in-flight offering is excellent, Cathay Pacific saves some of the greatest experiences for Hong Kong Airport in the form of several lounges that are up there with the best in the world. From the wing to the pier, the deck and the bridge. No matter where your flight is departing from, you'll have access to top-notch food and drinks and a relaxing setting before your flight departs. If we had to make a call of our favourite, it would be the Pier First Class Lounge, which has a brilliant restaurant, Asia's best airport cocktail bar, a day spa, business centre and spacious shower suites to freshen up in. Overall, you can expect a 5-star experience, and Cathay Pacific only continues to get better with every new product the airline debuts. To book your flight, visit cathaypacific.com. Coming up on Wayfarer, we're taking you to Brisbane and Paris. Welcome back to Wayfarer. Brisbane Airport is quickly becoming one of the best airports for connections in Australia. Let's find out more. All right, Jim, thanks so much for your time. We're here at Brisbane Airport. What's new and happening here? There's a lot going on.
There is a lot going on across the board. I think starting from domestic, there's a lot of refurbishments taking place at the moment. Everything from the food and beverage outlets, the general retail offer, the bathrooms are being upgraded, check-in facilities are being automated. So there's a lot of hoarding going up, but that's pretty exciting because it means there's a lot of good things coming our way. Probably in the next, from 3 months through to the next year, rolling upgrades across the board.
quickly one of Australia's best airports when it comes to food and beverage in all the terminals, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think we try and get the mix right between the local offer, the taste of Queensland. We're known as a great exporter of great produce in Australia and across the board, so we try and showcase all of that. There is a program that we run that we call Paddock to Gate, rather than paddock to plate, and that's really about showcasing things, honey, beef and fresh produce.
And how important is that from the traveller's perspective? I mean, obviously the food in flight's getting better, so you really want to have great food before you travel.
Absolutely. I think we always try and set the benchmark. We're also mindful that we are the first and last impression, particularly for our international visitors coming through Brisbane, and in fact even Australians that are connecting through Brisbane. We really want to up our offer, and where people need to connect, make Brisbane the airport of choice.
And obviously a lot coming. There's a new runway under construction at the moment, so obviously some bigger targets for you, I'm sure, to bring more carriers here.
Absolutely. In middle of next year, the new runway will be open, a $1.3 billion investment, which will effectively double our operating capacity. And that capacity will take us through to about 2040. So we're doing as much as we can to get our existing airline customers to increase services, but also new airlines to come in from new destinations.
You're getting good growth in terms of Asian airlines, US carriers, and obviously local here. So obviously Brisbane's really a focus point for a lot of airlines at the moment.
Absolutely. We'd like to do more out of the US and North America in general. We do have a blind spot or a gap in the South American market, and we've got a big South American community here in Brisbane, which isn't a well-known fact, so we'd love to get better connections into South America. North Asia is progressing well for us, and of course you've got traditional markets in Southeast Asia that are still doing really well for us.
And some new hotel product as well. That's obviously helping in terms of having more people stay out here and have a real proper experience at the airport. Yeah,
well, two things have happened. Both our new hotels, the Ibis and the Pullman at the domestic terminal, won a Skytrax award this year, and Brisbane Airport was also awarded as the best airport in Asia Pacific. And as you develop your airport into a hub, you need to have that amenity close to the terminal. So someone arriving on a midnight arrival from Hong Kong, for example, short hop to the hotel and then be on their way to Townsville, Cairns, Rockhampton the next morning.
Wonderful. And also too, last but not very much least, a lot of great new lounge product here across all the terminals, investment from both airlines and yourselves. Yeah,
I mean, given the scale of Brisbane Airport, we're at 6 million at the moment and looking to grow, but if you look at the Qantas Lounge recently being expanded to meet demand, Air New Zealand, Singapore Airlines, a Plaza Premium, and also a new Virgin facility opening shortly, we're pretty pleased, and I think that's recognition of the increasing high yield traveller and business traveller coming out of Brisbane.
It's spring in Paris right now, and it's one of our favourite times to visit the city. We're here at the beautiful Meurice Hotel in Paris. What are some of the great things to do in the hotel?
In the hotel, you have few choices. I mean, if you want to relax, you can go to the spa. The spa Valmont, it's very nice. They do amazing facial. We are very famous for that. Valmont, it's a brand from Switzerland, so sometimes guests come only for that sort of facials. Then if you want to eat, you have of course Le Dali, which is more Mediterranean restaurant. We are open so pretty much for lunch and dinner too, and we do tea time. And then if you want more gourmet foods, we do have a fine dining restaurant called the Meurice Alain Ducasse. We do amazing cuisine in a beautiful historic decor. If you have the chance to walk inside the room, you will be happy to see that all the ceilings look like Versailles. So it's very beautiful. And we have of course our bar if you want to enjoy a drink and like typical cocktails.
Well, you've got an amazing location. You've got Tuileries, the Louvre, Place Vendôme, and Rue Saint-Honoré as well. There's a lot of things you can do around the hotel. What are some of your favourite things to recommend?
Of course, we are very lucky, I mean, to be in the center of Paris. So I love walking around. usually. So if you want to do shopping, you have just Rue Saint-Honoré on the back side of the hotel. The famous Chanel on Rue Cambo is just 5 minutes away, so it's quite amazing. Then after, if you want to walk around and see the Tuileries Garden or the Louvre also, for museum we have Orangerie. I love the water lilies of Monet. It's a very huge painting, so that's my favorite in the area, of course.
Do you have a few places that you'd like to get a coffee from, or you'd recommend the guests go for a coffee around here?
For coffee, it's a little further, the one I like. It's called Café Kitsune, which is inside the Palais Royal. I love that place. It's very, very tiny place, and the quality of coffee is very good too. So, and you have Café Verlot also on Rue Saint-Honoré, which is a nice option also for tea time.
And there's a lot of great foodie stores and restaurants around, especially around Madeleine. There seems to be an endless supply of great macaroon places or truffle shops. So have you got a few favourite little foodie things you like in the area?
Yes, I think maybe you're mentioning like La Durée or something like that. Yes, in Madeleine, near Madeleine Church, yes, you have a lot. I love Café Pushkin for tea time, of course. And then for more later things to buy, I mean, thinking there's so many options. I love, of course, Pierre Hermé macaroons.
So there's plenty to do around here, isn't there, in terms of within walking distance of the hotel. So you must get a lot of requests for little walking maps that people can do. Do you have a few little favourite walks around here?
Yes, absolutely. I love when you leave the hotel, you go to Place Vendôme to see all the jewelers, and then you walk up to Palais Royal by the Opera House also. So you see the Opera, then the Palais Royal, and then you can come down near Notre Dame. Notre Dame, the island, all around the Seine River with the famous Pont Neuf, which is very cute too. And then you can come back by the Tuileries Garden and the Louvre, which is around 1 hour walk, but it's very beautiful. And
lots of great shopping. You look at what we said, Rue Saint-Honoré up the street, which is a lot of little boutiques, and then you've got a big department stores just 10 minutes away with Lafayette and whatnot, don't you, as well?
Absolutely. You have a large choice here because we are in the center of Paris. So like 10 to 15 minutes walk, you can have little shops on Rue Saint-Honoré, very famous brands on Rue du Faubourg Saint-Honoré a little further. The big department stores, Galerie Lafayette and Printemps, and there's a new one, Galerie Lafayette, which is more like specific brands, little brand that sometimes nobody knows, which opened on the Champs-Élysées also, I think like it was 2 weeks ago. So it's very nice.
Well, that's it from us on Wayfarer. This is our final show on the Your Money Network. Thank you to everybody for supporting the show and watching us over the last 7 months. You can continue to get all the latest executive travel news and features at our website, wayfarer.travel. On behalf of the entire team, I'm James Wilkinson. Thanks for watching and see you next time.